Listen closely. This is not just another moment. This is a defining moment. You are not here by chance. You were born for such a time as this. You have been chosen, selected, appointed, and assigned to accomplish something that no one else can do. You may feel overlooked. Maybe your past has convinced you you're not worthy, but that's a lie. Everything you've been through has prepared you for this very hour. The pain, the delays, the waiting, it was never for nothing. It was shaping you. But now is the time to move. The hour is late, the signs are clear. The world is shifting, and the call on your life cannot wait another day. What's coming is already here. It's happening. And if you wait too long, you may miss the window. What must you do? Step up, get in position, stop doubting your value, stop negotiating with fear. The moment demands your courage. The assignment requires your obedience. Don't let distraction steal your focus. Don't let comfort rob you of greatness. You've got gifts buried in you, and the world is desperate for them. Someone's breakthrough is locked inside your obedience. Chosen one, there's a reason you feel the urgency in your spirit. There's a reason your heart is stirring. This isn't just motivation. It's a divine alarm clock. Wake up, stand up, show up, because the clock is ticking and destiny doesn't wait. You've been chosen. Now move before it's too late. You are chosen for a purpose. That statement alone is enough to shift your entire perspective on life. You are not just one among many. You are not a random accident floating through time and space, hoping that something meaningful might happen. Your very existence is loaded with intention. From the moment you took your first breath, there was something placed inside you, something unique, irreplaceable, and absolutely necessary for this world. You carry within you a purpose that was tailor-made just for you. It's not borrowed just for you. It's not borrowed. It's not duplicated. It is original. That means no one else can fulfill it in the way you were designed to. You were sent to this earth as a solution to a specific problem. There's a gap in the world that only you can fill. It may be in your family, your community, your industry, or even on a global scale, but the calling is real and is yours. Too often we look at others and think they are the chosen ones, the ones with the influence, the gifts, the platform, the clarity. But the truth is, every person born carries something divine inside them, but not everyone discovers it, and even fewer walk in it. Being chosen isn't about popularity, talent, or visibility. It's about alignment. It's about recognizing that your life is not your own. You are sent with an assignment, and your fulfillment comes from walking in that purpose. Sometimes the weight of being chosen doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like a burden. Because to be chosen often means to be separated, set apart, misunderstood. You might feel isolated, overlooked, or even rejected. But let me tell you, those are the very signs that you're on the right path. The chosen ones are often the ones who don't fit in easily. That discomfort isn't a curse. It's confirmation. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. And not for ego, but for impact. You must begin to believe that you matter, because purpose cannot be fulfilled through a heart that doubts its own value. The greatness inside you won't activate until you fully embrace the truth of who you are. And when you do, when you finally accept that your life was meant to bring change, to build, to heal, to create, to uplift, everything begins to shift. Your decisions change. Your circle changes. Your priorities change. Why? Because the chosen don't live casually. They live intentionally. Being chosen isn't easy, but it is an honor. It means heaven trusted you enough to give you something to carry, something that could bless others. And that means your life is not just about you. It's about those connected to your obedience. Your yes is not isolated. Someone's freedom, healing, or inspiration may be on the other side of you, showing up boldly in your calling. But purpose isn't automatic. It has to be pursued, discovered, cultivated. You must dig deep, ask hard questions, and seek out the reason for your existence. It's not about chasing success. It's about fulfilling assignment. It's not about impressing people. It's about impacting lives. You may not feel ready, but the truth is, being chosen is never about feeling qualified. It's about surrender. It's about saying yes, even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or unclear. So if you've ever wondered if your life matters, if you've ever questioned your significance, let this be your confirmation. You are chosen. You are necessary. You are here on purpose. Now it's time to live like it. Dog timing is everything. Purpose without timing can become frustration. A gift used too soon can cause confusion, and a calling embraced too late can lose its power. There's a divine clock ticking in the background of your life. And whether you see it or not, that clock doesn't wait. Destiny isn't delayed forever. Moments come and moments go. And moments go. And while second chances exist, not all opportunities come around twice. That's why urgency is not panic, it's wisdom. It's the voice of heaven telling you, and now is the time. There are things you've been thinking about doing, visions you've carried for years, ideas, dreams, businesses, ministries, books, messages, assignments that stir your heart. But you keep telling yourself, oh, one day. You assume that time will always be right later, that doors will remain open, that people will always be available, that your strength and passion will stay intact. But that's not how purpose works. It moves in season. And when a season opens, that's when you step. You don't wait until everything is perfect. You don't wait for all the answers. You move in faith because faith sees timing differently. Faith sees the invisible and responds to the inner pull before anything physical confirms it. Some of the greatest regrets people carry in life come not from what they did, but from what they never did, from the moments they ignored, the chances they didn't take, the words they were too afraid to speak. Delay is deceptive. It feels safe. It feels safe. It feels logical, but often it's just fear in disguise. You think you're waiting for the right time, but the right time is often hiding inside the decision to begin. Time doesn't wait for perfection. Time rewards preparation and courage. And if you don't act, you risk watching someone else fulfill what was originally placed in your heart, When you hesitate too long, when you wait too long to obey what you know in your spirit you were born to do, the door that was open may close, not out of punishment, but because time keeps moving forward. There are shifts happening right now that you can either ride or resist. But if you resist too long, you miss the wave. And some waves don't come back. Life has rhythm. Purpose has time. And some doors require both action and alignment. If you miss the window, you can find yourself building something out of season, working harder for results that would have come easier if you had moved when the time was right. But here's the truth. You still have time. The fact that you're reading these words means it's not too late. But don't mistake that grace for permission to delay any longer. You're not too young. You're not too old. You're not too broken, too inexperienced, or too late. You're right on the edge of a moment that could change your life if you're willing to trust that timing isn't about your comfort, it's about your calling. The longer you wait, the more crowded your mind becomes with doubt, and the heavier your heart grows with hesitation. You've been praying for confirmation, but maybe confirmation isn't coming in the way you expect. Maybe it's not a sign in the sky or a prophetic word. Maybe it's that quiet urgency you feel, that unrest in your spirit, that pull to start, to move, to act. Heck, that's confirmation. Don't ignore it. Timing is the womb where purpose is birthed. If you miss the moment, you risk delaying destiny, not just for yourself, but for everyone connected to you. Now is not the time to sleep. Now is not the time to wait for approval. Now is the time to move. The doors are open. The atmosphere, time to move. The doors are open. It's very shifting. Something is happening, and it's real. Timing is everything, and the time is now. God recognize the signs around you. The world is shifting, and it's not just in politics, economics, or technology. It's spiritual, it's internal, and it's urgent. There is a deep stirring taking place beneath the surface of everyday life. You can feel it. Something is changing. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice that nothing is the same anymore. To make sense, and it feels off. Your routines don't work. Your mindset can carry on towards them. That's not coincidence. That's a sign. There are moments in history when everything converges to create a divine interruption, a season where heaven calls for alignment, for action, for awakening. This is one of those moments. You can't ignore the shift happening around you and within you. The restlessness you feel isn't just personal, it's prophetic. You're not just tired, you're being pulled. Your spirit knows that something greater is trying to emerge. You were born for more, and life is now demanding you to live like it. Sometimes we're so busy with life that we miss the signals that are screaming at us in silence. Doors closing, relationships shifting, opportunities drying up, dreams resurfacing. Those aren't random events, though indicators that something is transitioning, something is moving. And if you don't wake up to it, you'll try to hold on to what's fading when you're supposed to be stepping into what's forming. The worst thing you can do in a season of transformation is to stay the same. Many people miss their moment, not because they're incapable, but because they're incapable, but because they're unaware. They ignore the signs, dismiss the tension, and drown out the whispers with noise and distractions. But if you quiet yourself even for a moment, you'll hear it, you'll see it. Life is speaking, God is speaking, and the message is clear. It's happening. The shift is not coming, it's here. This is not the time to be asleep in your spirit. This is not the time to be numb, passive, or indecisive. You can't afford to coast anymore. You've got to be present. You've got to be alert, because there are things being released in this season that only those who are watching will receive. We're watching will receive. The signs are all around you, and they're not just external, they're internal too. The things that used to entertain you now frustrate you. The things that used to be enough now feel too small. That's not boredom, that's growth. That's your spirit expanding beyond your comfort zone. You're being called out of the shallow and into the deep. And deep calls to deep. There's a cry inside you that won't go away, a fire that won't die out. And that's because it's time. You can't pretend not to notice anymore. Pay attention to how you feel when you're in certain environments. Pay attention to what excites you, what drains you, what awakens you. These are signs. Pay attention to divine interruptions, the unexpected encounters, the open doors, the closed ones, the sudden changes. They're not just events. They're not just events. Destiny Ray comes announced with trumpets. It comes wrapped in moments. And only those with eyes to see will perceive it. You've been asking for direction, for clarity, for a sign. But maybe you don't need another sign. Maybe you just need to see what's already happening around you. The signs are there. The call was real. And the shift is not coming. It's already begun. Recognize it, respond to it, and rise into it. Because to ignore it is to resist your own awakening. And the world needs you awake right now more than ever. The preparation precedes promotion. In every great story of breakthrough, elevation, and transformation, there's always a hidden chapter that doesn't get celebrated. The chapter of preparation. It's the season no one sees. The season of stretching silence and sowing. While the world is obsessed with the highlight reel, heaven is focused on the root system. Before anything meaningful rises, it has to be built below the surface. Before doors open, character has to be formed. Before your name is known, your identity must be secured. Promotion doesn't begin with exposure. It begins with preparation. It's easy to want the spotlight, the influence, the success, but none of that can sustain itself without the foundation that's laid in private. You've been asking for the next level, but are you ready to handle the weight that comes with it? Because promotion will test everything in you. Your motives, your consistency, your integrity, your discipline. And if those haven't been developed, what looks like a blessing will become a burden. That's why the preparation season matters so much. It's not punishment, it's protection. There are things you've been praying for, things you've been dreaming about, but those things are too big to hand over to someone who isn't ready. It's not about worthiness, it's about readiness. It's about readiness, it's about readiness. And readiness isn't proven by desire, it's proven by preparation. If you believe you're called to build something great, then build yourself first. Grow in knowledge. Sharpen your skills. Heal what's broken. Discipline what's lazy. Confront lazy. Confront what's holding you back. Because when the moment comes, and it will, you need to be able to step into it without hesitation. Preparation isn't glamorous. It's repetitive. It's lonely. It's full of quiet sacrifices that no one applauds. But those hidden days are where strength is built. There where resilience is forged. Where resilience is forged. There where vision becomes clear. You don't become who you're called to be in the spotlight. You become that person in the shadows when no one is watching, and you choose to show up anyway. Day after day, page after day, page after page, rep after rep, word after word, faithful in the small. That's where greatness is born. You may be in a season right now where nothing seems to be happening. No big breakthroughs, no recognition, and no visible progress. But don't be fooled. This season is sacred. Something is growing beneath the surface. Something is being forged in the fire. More beneath the surface. It's being forged in the fire. You're not being overlooked. You're being formed. And when the time is right, what's been hidden will be revealed. But don't rush it. A rushed process creates a weak product. And you weren't made to collapse under the weight of your own calling. You were made to carry it. The question isn't just are you called? It's are you ready? And readiness comes through discipline, through obedience, through hidden work. It comes through long hours of growth with no applause. through choosing to rise early. Stay consistent, stay pure, stay focused when distractions scream your name. It comes from doing needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Because you know that when preparation meets opportunity, destiny is activated. So if you're in the waiting room right now, don't despise it. Don't rush out of it. Use it. Maximize it. Build. Learn. Refine. Strengthen. Because promotion is coming, but only to those who are ready. You don't have to chase platforms when you've been prepared in the present. You don't have to beg for influence when you've built endurance. The ones who rise and stay there are the ones who took preparation seriously. Don't wait for the moment to prepare. Prepare for the moment. Because when it comes, and it will, you'll either rise because you're ready or shrink because you're not. You can't afford to waste time. Time is one of the most precious resources you have. It's more valuable than money, more powerful than talent, and more sacred than opportunity. Once it's gone, it doesn't come back. And yet, it's the very thing most people treat with the least urgency. You wake up thinking there's always more time. You assume tomorrow will be there waiting for you. But what's not? What if the window you're waiting for is open now? But it won't stay open forever. There's a lie that says you can wait until you're ready. That you can delay obedience until you feel confident, But the truth is, purpose doesn't wait on your comfort. It moves in moments. Life isn't slowing down. The world isn't pausing, and neither is the assignment on your life. There are things you've been putting off, things you've told yourself you'll get to eventually. You're waiting for the right time, the right mindset, the right conditions. But deep down, you know, you've already waited long enough. Every second you hesitate, time is slipping. Not in a fearful way, but in a real way. That idea you've been sitting on, someone else is working on theirs. That book you've been called to write, there are people who need to read it right now. That business, that message, that creative vision, that act of obedience, it was never meant to be delayed indefinitely. Someone's deliverance, healing, or direction might be tied to the thing you're putting off. When you wait, it's not just you who misses out. Others do too. Time is not your enemy, but it is your responsibility. You can't rewind it and you can't stretch it, but you can steward it. How you spend your time reveals what you truly value. You say you want to change the world, but your time says you'd rather scroll. You say you want to walk in purpose, but your time says you'd rather procrastinate. This isn't about being busy. It's about being intentional. There's a difference between movement and progress. You can be in motion and still going nowhere if your time isn't aligned with your mission. This is the season to stop treating time like it's infinite, because what you tolerate in time will eventually become what you normalize in life. If you keep putting things off, one day you'll wake up and realize the thing you thought you had time to build has passed you by. And not because you weren't talented, but because you waited too long. Delayed purpose becomes diminished potential. You don't have time to keep entertaining distraction. You don't have time to keep running in circles. You don't have time to keep doubting yourself into paralysis. What you do today determines who you become tomorrow. Every minute has weight. Every hour has purpose. And every decision you make with your time is either pulling you closer to your assignment or further away from it. You must act with urgency, not panic, but purpose. Start the thing, make the move, write the plan, cut the distraction, get discipline. Stop waiting for permission and give yourself assignment, because time is a gift and you don't know how much of it you have left. What you do know is this: right now, this very moment is in your hands. What will you do with it? The clock isn't your enemy, but it is speaking, it's telling you move. Now, don't waste another minute, because the longer you wait, the louder the regret will become. And you weren't made for regret, you were made for purpose. You have everything you need already inside you. That may sound too simple, too bold, or even too good to be true, but it's the truth. You are not missing anything essential to begin fulfilling your purpose. You don't need to be someone else. You don't need to wait for another degree, another connection, or another opportunity to validate what you carry. What's in you is enough, and what's in you is powerful. The problem is, most people live disconnected from what's within them. They're so focused on what they lack, on what they think they need to become, that they never tap into who they already are. You've been conditioned to look outside for answers, to seek approval, to chase status, but purpose starts within. The ideas, The vision, the wisdom, the creativity, the resilience, the clarity, it's all there. Buried under fear, doubt, and distraction, but it's there. And it's time to stop waiting and start unlocking it. You've been asking for more, but heaven is asking you, what are you doing with what you've already been given? You keep looking for external breakthroughs, but the breakthrough will begin when you activate what's internal. You don't need more. You need to store up what you already have. Purpose is like a seed. It's been planted in you. But the seed doesn't grow by sitting there untouched. It grows when you give it attention, when you water it, when you commit to nurturing it day after day, even when no one sees it yet. Too often, people disqualify themselves from greatness because they assume it belongs to someone else, someone louder, more visible, more experienced. But what if the very thing you think disqualifies you is actually what makes you powerful? Your background, your story, your personality, your struggle. It's all part of your assignment. Your uniqueness is not a flaw, it's your feature. Stop minimizing your identity just because it doesn't look like someone else's. You weren't created to copy. You were created to contribute something original. Inside you is a voice that's needed, a perspective that matters, a strength that can change atmospheres. But none of it will be seen if you keep hiding behind insecurity and fear and fear. This world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more authenticity. People who are bold enough to show up as they are and use what they have, even if it's not polished, even if it's still in process. The power is not in your perfection. It's in your obedience. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. You don't have to wait until it makes sense. You just have to trust that what was placed inside you was not placed there by accident. You are equipped, you are chosen, and you are not lacking. The more you walk in what you already carry, the more it begins to grow. Confidence is not something you wait to feel. It's something you build as you walk. And every step of obedience will unlock another layer of your potential. Stop disqualifying yourself from the table you were born to sit at. Stop telling yourself you're not enough when you were handpicked by heaven to be here in this time, in this generation. You weren't born empty. You were born full. And it's time to live like it. Time to stop second guessing and start releasing. The world doesn't just need what's in you. It's waiting for it. Don't die with it still inside you. Wake it up. Speak it out. Build it. Share it. Move on it. You already have what it takes. Now it's time to use it.